Hi, my name is Sharonica, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
That was very good. Let's do it just maybe one or two more, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So I've been really looking forward to this card that's taking place tonight on DAZN. And even though Pacheco-Nelson is a good fight and should be a good fight, I've always felt that Andy Cruz versus Omar Salcido should have been the main event. I have to be very honest, I wasn't too familiar with Steven Nelson or Pacheco, so I had to do my last-minute homework on both fighters. I watched all of Pacheco's fights on DAZN this week, and I watched a couple of Steven Nelson's fights as well. And what I learned is Steven Pacheco, he's 6'4", he's very right-hand crazy. That's the main punch he tries to set up. He doesn't really have a tremendous jab. Everything he does is to set up the right hand. He's not that much of an inside fighter, at least depending on the opponent, he's not. He seems to have good power, but he doesn't have the best defense. Now, when it comes to Steven Nelson, he's an aggressive fighter, but he seems to be on the slow side. There's no special effects with Steven Nelson. He's just an aggressive, come-forward fighter. I can't point out one thing that he does fantastic, but at the same time, I don't see him having too many flaws outside of him having a lack of speed. So Nelson, he's going to try to put a lot of pressure on Pacheco, and I believe Pacheco, he's going to try to keep the fight on the outside so he can set up his favorite punch, which is the right hand. Okay, so with that little summary, the main thing I want to talk about is Andy Cruz versus Omar Salcido. This is a serious fight. This is a major test, major step up in competition for Andy Cruz, and it's a 50-50 fight. It's a very, very dangerous fight. Salcido is coming off of a big knockout win over Chris Colbert. I was really impressed with Omar's performance in that fight because I have never seen Chris Colbert look so uncomfortable the way he was getting pressured. Chris just kept getting backed up from one side of the ropes to the other. And there were times when Chris Colbert was trying to stand his ground and he just couldn't. Omar Salcido, he actually worked with Cormel Moten to prepare him for this fight. I'm talking about the Cruz fight, not the Chris Colbert fight. And there were clips of them sparring, and man, it was some good stuff. It was some really good stuff. In fact, Cormel Moten is the only fighter I've seen so far that was actually able to back up Salcido when they were sparring. Now, Andy Cruz, he fought a similar style opponent in his very last fight. He was fighting against Antonio Moran. And in that fight, Moran, he actually hurt Andy Cruz a couple of times in the fight. But credit to Andy Cruz, he shook it off right away. It wasn't like some fighters, sometime a fighter gets hurt and then all of a sudden it takes them rounds to recover. That's not how it was when it came to Andy Cruz. He got hurt, he shook it off, and he was right back in the fight. And next thing you know, he was walking down the much bigger Antonio Moran and knocking him out. I always tell you guys, the amateurs and the pros is a complete different sport. Because as an amateur, Andy Cruz, he was virtually unbeatable. He's not unbeatable as a pro, that's for sure. And this fight against Salcido is the perfect test to really let us know where Andy Cruz is in the lightweight division. Because Salcido is better than Antonio Moran. So if Andy Cruz can walk through Salcido, that would be extremely impressive. But it's not a guaranteed win at all. In fact, Keyshawn Davis, he came out speaking on the fact that Andy Cruz is not the same fighter that he was in the amateurs. Just like Robeisy Ramirez turned out not to be the same fighter. But I would say I believe Andy Cruz, he is better than Ramirez. So Keyshawn Davis, he says he believes that Andy Cruz has a fragile chin and he'll most likely lose before he even reaches a title shot.
10 ounces and 8 ounces is a big difference. He bringing up my name and calling me his son, that shit is funny to me. I know what's going on with his team. This needs help. He needs a better team. I just think he has no respectable power. You're crazy as hell if you think that's going to work against a fighter like me. I feel like he was a phenomenal amateur, but he's going to be an average pro. He just got hurt by his last opponent, Antonio Moran. Wasn't that the opponent that Devin Haney knocked out 6 years ago on May 25th, 2019 in the 7th round, the same round that Cruz KO'd Moran in? If you're getting hurt in your development stage, what do you think I'm going to do to you? Did you ever see me get hurt or knocked down? I feel like he's going to lose before he gets to this level. I genuinely feel he's going to lose. I just feel he's going to lose before he gets to me, period. They better just make him a mandatory real quick before the shit happened to him.
So if Andy Cruz wins this fight, he's going to end up becoming Shakur Stevenson's #1 contender, which means if he wants to, he could force a title shot with Shakur Stevenson. But with Andy Cruz being promoted by Eddie Hearn, he said he wants to match up Eddie Cruz with Keyshawn Davis before Shakur Stevenson. So let's see how it plays out. Something else I wanted to say about this fight against Omar Salcido. I think Andy Cruz, he might even do better against Salcido because they're the same height. Antonio Moran was way bigger, way taller than Cruz. So it was a little bit harder for him to get on the inside. And I think it'll be a lot more easier for him to dictate the pace against a fighter who is his same height. We'll see how it plays out. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Omar Salcido steps up, as does Andy Cruz, in a great fight. Omar, we'll start with you. Last time out, I saw your fight, I was a big fan, all action style, a great fight for you on Saturday night.
Sí, soy muy fan, vi tu última pelea, es como un boxeador que viene con toda acción y listo para el sábado, para una gran noche.
Bueno, primero que nada, gracias a Dios por tenerme aquí, gracias por la oportunidad. Estoy listo para una guerra y estoy listo para ganar.
Yeah, so first I want to say thanks to God for the opportunity for being here. I'm ready for Saturday, I'm ready for war, and I'm ready to win.
Finally, this man has all the skills, Olympic champion, one of the greatest amateurs of all time, looks fantastic so far. As a professional, you believe you are the man to stop the Andy Cruz train on Saturday.
Sí, hemos visto a Andy Cruz como en las Olimpiadas también, quizás uno de los mejores peloteros que ha asistido. De momento ha lucido muy bien, pero ¿tú crees que eres el hombre que va a parar ese tren, el tren de Andy Cruz el sábado por la noche?
Claro, así como lo dices, Andy es un gran boxeador, pero trabajamos muy fuerte estos últimos meses con el Team Benavides para lograr una victoria este sábado.
So far, but we've been working really hard throughout these months with Jose Benavides and our plan to go on and get this victory.
Great, thank you, Omar. Andy, welcome. Feels like by far the biggest step up for you so far. It's been fairly comfortable for you last time out on that huge show in Los Angeles. Now you're just a couple of fights away from the World Championship. A real test for you on Saturday.
Sí, en primer lugar, bienvenido. Obviamente, sin duda, tiene que ser la subida de escalón más grande en tu carrera. Has estado bastante cómodo hasta la fecha. Tuviste como esa gran noche, esa noche enorme que tuviste en Los Ángeles. Pero ahora mismo como un par de peleas desde este título mundial que quieres.
Primeramente, darle las gracias a todos los presentes por apoyar el evento y el boxeo. Decirles que estoy más que listo, más que preparado para dar un gran espectáculo. Este sábado no soy de hablar mucho fuera del ring porque fuera del agua todo el mundo nada bien, así que yo simplemente vine a hablar en el ring.
Yeah, so first I want to say thanks to everyone here, all the people that are here to support this event and also to support boxing as well. I'm completely ready to put on a great show on Saturday. I'm not someone who likes to speak too much outside the ring. I like to do my talking inside it. Everyone's a good swimmer when they're not in the water. So, I look forward to Saturday night.
And finally, I know you have World Championship ambitions for 2025 and people talking about, you said that you want to make your son proud on Saturday, Keyshawn, if he attends, but I know you're firmly fixed on this man and a real test for you, Cuba against Mexico on Saturday.
Sí, por último, sabemos tus ambiciones de tener ese título del mundo en 2025. También has dicho, si viene al evento Keyshawn Davis, quieres hacer orgulloso a tu hijo, obviamente, pero todo el enfoque tiene que estar en esta pelea Cuba contra México el sábado, ¿no?
Así es, voy paso a paso, mi enfoque ahora mismo está en mi combate este sábado, que voy contra un guerrero mexicano que se ha preparado bien para mi pelea, pero al final no es lo mismo decir que hacer y vamos a dar un gran show este sábado.
Yeah, of course, this is a step up and in my career as I go on, I'm advancing But my full focus is on this Saturday and my opponent. You know, I'm facing a Mexican fighter, a warrior who's prepared really well for this. And as I said, it's not just about saying things, it's about doing, and I'll do what I need to do on Saturday in the ring.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LOSE Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to LOSE.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.